And welcome back to our community. Susie Thomas visiting with Carrie Weigley from Camp Tippecanoe. And you can find out about all the things that we're talking about at gotcamp.org. Love the website name.
Thanks.
That's so cute. You've got just so many things going on. And as program director, kind of take us through a week of camp. What can we look forward to?
Sure. Okay, so it kind of depends on your age. We have a lot of progressive programs at Camp Tippecanoe where, when kids are younger, they do certain things, and when they get older, they get more into those things. Like, for instance, we have a program called Explorers, and for those kids, the youngest kids, 7 to 9-year-olds, each morning they would get to try something different. And we have 5 different areas that they can check out. We have our horse barn, which we have a really amazing horse program at Camp Tippecanoe. I love it. And then we do what we call Mosaic, which is a camp for the art kids with like kind of art programs, fine arts, performing arts, music. And then Owls, which is outdoor wilderness living skills, which could be anything from archery to survival, like, anything you see, all those those skills where they're building their own fires and, shelters out in the woods.
How brutal does it get?
Oh, it's fun.
Okay.
They love it. I mean, they learn outdoor cooking, and eventually when they get to be a little bit older, in their teen years, we have even done programs where they've made their own shelter and spent the night in that shelter at night, which is pretty super cool.
Oh my gosh.
And then we have a program, when they get to be 12, we have a program called Expeditioners where we teach them all the backpacking skills and how to build a fire, and they take all their stuff in a backpack and they go out for 2 nights. We're situated on 1,100 acres, but there's tens of thousands of acres around the lake where we are on Clendenning, and the kids just go out and they trailblaze, and they find a place to camp in that program, and they spend a couple of nights out on the trail, which is pretty sweet.
And for the moms and dads, they always come back, right?
They always come back.
That's good to know.
And come back better people.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about the horses. I don't believe I know of camps that have horse programs, so talk about that. What's available?
Sure. Actually, both Camp Wainoa and Camp Tippecanoe have great horse programs. For ours at Camp Tippecanoe, we do, like I said, it's progressive. So as the kids get more involved in the program and they learn more, then they get to advance through the skills. So each morning they do lessons, 1 hour of what we call ground lessons. So it could be, learning how to tack and groom a horse, or learning what they feed, those sorts of things. And then they have a lesson in the arena where they're learning actually on the horse and learning how to start and stop and steer and all that sort of stuff. And then as they get older, when they get to be about 12, and typically this is a program that really girls get into a lot, though we do have a week of boys camp too, that we have a ranch that girls go to when they're 12, and they get their own horse for the week. So they ride their horse everywhere. They get on the horse and they take it on a trail, and they go to the waterfront if they want to go swimming or what have you. And with their horse, they take care of that horse's needs, all the way from waking up and feeding them in the morning till, lessons throughout the day, and then taking their tack off and sending them out to pasture at night. And then the girls also learn to care for themselves too. So they do all their own cooking up there and taking care of, just about everything. They'll learn a lot of responsibility in that week.
Goodness, that's why the parents are so surprised how self-sufficient their children come home. That's amazing. I have a feeling the horses understand how important their role is to this. There's really something that happens between a person and a horse, isn't there? Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, actually, we have a really fun video that we put on our website, and I believe it on our Facebook page, that just talks about what is it about girls and horses, or, what is it about kids and horses. And it's true. There's just a connection that's there that is undeniable. And kids learn so much from horses, and it does feel like the horses get a lot of it out of it too. In fact, our horses come from Ohio University. And they come up to us for, that 2-month time span. And they really go home with a lot. They go home with learning a lot about having a little kid on their back, but because the rest of the year they spend with college kids and kids that are showing,
Oh my goodness, yeah. That was my very next question. Where do you get your horses?
Yep.
How do you see the horses adapting from week to week? Because they would become attached, and then suddenly they have a new person.
Right, yeah. I think horses maybe forget a little bit. Kids don't so much, though. And to tell you the truth, it is so interesting to me. When I keep up with our alumni on Facebook, we've got a lot of alumni, like 500 or so that we keep in touch with. it's funny that they don't remember their camp counselor's name, but they can remember the first horse they rode.
Wow.
Everything about them, what they look like, what they fed them, the horse's name for sure. They remember everything about them. So
I like
funny
to think the horses do too. Those are the commercials at the Super Bowl that always make us cry.
It's true.
Something with the horses.
I hope that they do. I hope they remember.
Well, you've got some really fun events coming up we don't want to not talk about. Sure. So fill us in.
Okay. Actually, one of the things that we have coming up pretty soon on May 1st is a family fun day over at Camp Wainoa. And there'll be lots of options for kids to hang out and try. Families can go around and do archery or pony rides and, face painting and some things like that. But not only that, they can also get to know all the camps a little bit better. Staff will be there to represent Camp Wainoa and Camp Tippecanoe and Akron Rotary Camp, as well as all of the day camps for Stark and Summit County. So if you're looking for camping options for your kids, this is a fantastic way to have a good time for the whole day and then learn a little bit about all of the camps. And you even, if you want to register right there, you can even get some savings by registering right that day.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
What are some good questions for families to ask in order to determine what camp their child is right for?
Some questions that they want to ask themselves for starters. Some things that you want to think about are how long has your child been away from you during the day? Have they ever been away for a night to a grandparent's house or somebody else's house? So that kind of, what's their level of maturity as far as that's concerned? How excited are they about camp? And then what are they looking for? And then you can determine from what your kid's looking for out of a camp. Do they want a real adventure experience? Then they could send them to Tippecanoe, or are they just looking for something that's, for the day to keep them occupied, and they want to be outside, but they don't want to be, they don't want to necessarily be locked up inside or at home. If they're just looking for that kind of thing, then maybe a day camp's a better option.
Mm-hmm. Are there opportunities to learn how to swim and those kinds of things while they're at camp, or do they need to pretty much be able to say, okay, I'm at this level of a swimmer?
No, actually, we at Tippecanoe, we do swimming lessons with the youngest kids for sure.
Wow.
And then throughout the week, if there are kids that are looking for a little bit more individual attention as far as swimming is concerned, we do that. We have some swim instructors that are hired on our staff. And so, they don't have to come with any experience, whether it's horseback riding, backpacking, swimming, any of that. We teach it all.
Wow. Let's talk about homesickness a little bit more. That can be an issue at camp, that first night especially, before they've really made all their good friends and everything.
Right.
Are there things families can do to prepare their child for this time away from home for a week, maybe for the first time?
Yeah. One thing that you want to do is maybe make sure that they do get to go to, grandma's house for an overnight or somebody else's. And sometimes they aren't ready, even at that. But take it at your child's level and let them kind of dictate when they're ready. But when you think they might be ready, or if you'd like to even test the waters, a mini camp's a great way to do that. It's only a couple of nights away, and to be honest, most of the time we find homesickness strikes on the third day of camp.
Interesting.
I know, it's very interesting. Usually they're so excited and kind of a little nervous energies going on there that the first couple of days they don't think about it as much as they do on that third day. So that's why a mini camp's a great option, and we kind of design it that way, that they only are there from like Wednesday to Saturday or Saturday to Wednesday, and then by the time that they would be homesick, they're just about ready to go home
anyway. It's time to leave.
Right.
So these are all things that people can learn about at this Family Fun Day. Remind us when and where, and do people need to register?
Sure. You don't have to register. It's May 1st. Or, you can also check out, I think there's another one after that. You can check that out on that Got Camp website as well. And then it's from 2 to 4 on that afternoon. It's a Sunday afternoon.
And Mother's Day's coming up. Maybe people want to talk about camping on Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah.
What do you have planned?
So, I talked a little bit earlier about family camp, and that was my first experience as a camper back in Pennsylvania. And we do have a family camp event that's coming up Mother's Day weekend. So if your kids are a little bit younger, or maybe it's their first experience, or you're not sure about them going away to camp and you want to try it with them, Mother's Day from the 6th to the 8th is maybe a great way to try that out. So that's at Camp Tippecanoe, and you can register register for that by giving us a call or going on our website.
Now, sometimes things can happen at camp, like bug bites and poison ivy and the occasional scrape or broken bone.
Right.
What kinds of first aid and readiness do you have?
Well, we do a lot of that. We actually train, all of our staff are CPR and first aid certified. And we actually have, I get to do the fun job of teaching a wilderness first aid class every year because it's one of my passions. So I do that at the beginning so they can learn, even if the kids are out on the trail, what to do in an emergency. And then we also have an EMT on our staff, and we also have an on-call nurse, physician, pharmacist. So pretty much we know what's going on all the time.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome to know. Yeah. And then, did I hear that right? There's opportunities for the campers themselves, particularly the older campers, to learn life-saving and be able to, lifeguarding perhaps, and so forth.
Yeah, so we do a program called Leaders Camp. Leader in Training is the first step. So the Leaders in Training, Counselor in Training, and then they get to go on after that. And in those programs, they learn basic first aid, basic CPR, some camp counselor kinds of skills, and we do classes that are like that, or they may learn archery skills. And then when they get a little bit older, there's an opportunity for them to possibly do a lifeguarding class even. So then they get those skills while they are a camper or volunteer.
So cool. It's amazing what all's available.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Carrie Weigle is with Camp Tippecanoe. She and her husband Scott are the directors. He's the director. She's the program director. Carrie, how did the YMCA tap into this and realize how important camp is in the life of children?
So camp's been around for quite a long time, since I'm pretty sure the mid-1800s. In Stark County, it started in 1906. Amazing. What actually happened was there was a group of boys, and I believe it was like 40 boys that hiked from Canton all the way up to Turkey Foot.
What?
All the way up to the Portage Lakes. They hiked all the way up there. And then there was a kind of a place along the lake that they camped, and that's where they stayed for, I think it was like 2 weeks or something like that. And then they kept going back to that place, and eventually there was a camp there on the Turkey Foot Lakes that was owned by the Canton YMCA. And then I don't exactly know what happened in between them, but I know that the property at Tippecanoe was bought in 1958. So we've been there at Tippecanoe for at least over 55 years.
And remind us where are you located exactly?
Okay, Camp Tippecanoe is about an hour south of the Canton area. So if you go 77 south, 800 and 250, it's past New Philadelphia and the little town of Tippecanoe, which is a little bit past it's over near the Lake District, so Tappan Lake, Clendenning Lakes, that area. And
so many of our listenership is right in that Tuscarawas County area. So right, you're like next door.
Right, and probably if they're in the Tuscarawas area, they probably went there for outdoor education camp when they were kids at sixth grade.
So you know how much fun it is. Right. All right, we want to send you to this website one more time for all the information about all the things we've been talking about. What a fun summer we've got in store. It's at gotcamp.org. And Carrie Weigle from Camp Tippecanoe. Also, check out Camp Wainoa or any of these options that you've talked about today. Carrie, thanks so much for joining us today on Our Community.